Netherlands 0, France 0. Euro 2024 finally gets its first goalless game of the tournament. But that's not the full story here, as controversy surrounds this game, and typically it's Premier League referees at the centre of it, even in an international tournament. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to centre around the big controversy surrounding the Netherlands versus the France game. It took a while, but we finally have our first goalless draw of the tournament. Netherlands and France played out a 0-0 draw tonight. A game, well, a result that simultaneously, as well as giving both teams a point, puts them in good stead to obviously qualify for the knockout stages and also eliminate Poland. I don't think too many people probably had a 0-0 draw between these two on the cards, and it really wasn't the kind of spectacle we were imagining when we actually pictured in our heads France taking on Netherlands. But there you have it, the game finished 0-0. However, the game is overshadowed by a controversial moment. VAR at the centre of it, English referees, supposedly the best that the Premier League has to offer, at the centre of it. We're going to be talking about that in this game. We're also going to be talking about VAR in general in this tournament and how good it's actually been until this point, ironically, and everything else in between. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you, please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always incredibly greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings. Whatever you want to call it, that will make for great interesting reading, I'm sure, down below. I'm sure it will make for great interesting reading, so please do use and abuse that comment section to your will. I would love to hear from you all on what you had to say about this controversial moment, the game itself, and everything else in between. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Netherlands, France, 0-0, controversy, English referees, VAR, and everything else in between. So, it took a while for the tournament's first 0-0 draw. Like I say, I don't think too many people probably would have had a 0-0 draw between France and the Netherlands. But there you have it. 0-0. No Kylian Mbappe tonight. Still recovering from that broken nose, despite his very fancy and personalised mask that he was sporting in training. But that's not the talking point. We're not talking about the game. We're not talking about the individual performances. We're not talking about how good of a result this could be for both. And we're going to talk about it because we always do. It is a good result for both teams. Both teams take a point from this. It puts them 4 points going into the final big game of the group stages. Poland are eliminated. France are going up against Poland in their next game. So France are basically going up against a team that has got nothing left to lose and will want to at least send the Polish fans off on a high back to Poland. Or wherever they're from, not necessarily Poland. And as for Netherlands, they obviously face a tricky game against Austria, who won today. Big win for Austria. And the likelihood is that as much as obviously the win for Austria earlier on today was massive for them, the overall consensus is that the third place team is arguably going to potentially be one of these three teams. Next week, when all these teams meet again, it's all going to be about who finishes top, who finishes second, and who may or may not qualify as being third. And that sets up quite an interesting and exciting end to the group stage phase for this particular group. But like I say, we're briefly talking about that because we're talking about the overshadowing factor, and that's again VAR and, ironically, English referees. It's been a crusade of mine for the majority, well, all season really, all of this past campaign, to talk about inconsistencies in refereeing, inconsistencies in VAR. And once again, on a major tournament, we are talking about it yet again. Now, granted, it has actually come a little bit later than what I was expecting, but that is because the VAR system has actually been used brilliantly in this in this competition. I cannot, for the life of me, think of too many controversial moments in this competition. You maybe could argue Romelu Lukaku's goal last week, a few days ago, against Slovakia, that was ruled out for a handball. That could potentially be controversial, but, you know, you can understand why it wasn't given. You can maybe argue the penalty earlier on today that Austria received against Poland, you know, that could be seen as controversial, but again, you can somewhat understand why it was given. This one is very controversial. It took seemingly an eternity in comparison to other decisions to be made, and ironically, it was made by English officials. English officials, the ones that were sent by the Premier League, that are seemingly said to be the best that England could provide as match officials. And ironically, they're the ones that are at the centre of a controversial storm of this game. They are the ones that have taken the longest of any decision to be made in this tournament to be done. And ironically, and again, no surprise, in my personal opinion, I think they've got it wrong. Which is shocking, right? We never get things wrong. English officials never get things wrong. I think they got it wrong. I genuinely do think that they have this wrong. Just paint a picture. Netherlands thought they had broken the deadlock through Xavi Simons. He finds the back of the net. It's a bit of pinball in the penalty area. Ball breaks to him. He manages to find the corner beautifully. It's a well-taken finish by the youngster. But Denzel Dumfries is judged to be in an offside position. In my personal opinion, yes, of course, I mean, it's not an opinion, it's a fact, this bit. The fact is, Dumfries is in an offside position. 100% I understand that. But where I think it is wrong to rule this goal out is because Mike Mignon, the French goalkeeper, is literally on the other side of the goal to where the ball is put by Simons. He's on the other side of the goal. He's also not at a standing base. He's also kind of got one leg on the floor. He's partially on the floor. There is no way, in my honest opinion and honest judgment, that Mike Mignon can leap from where he's at to the other side of the goal to deny Simons' expertly placed shot. Whether Dumfries is there or not, I don't think he is that athletic enough to defy the laws of speed and physics to leap from that kind of one-legged position all the way over to the other side of his goal to deny the well-placed shot of Xavi Simons. I could be wrong. People might tell me I'm wrong. I'm willing to obviously have the debate on this. I'm willing to obviously have people tell me that they think the decision was right to disallow the goal. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Yes, he's in an offside position. Yes, you can maybe argue that he's obstructing the goalkeeper's pathway, shall we say, to making a save. But I don't think the goalkeeper's getting there in the first place. If the goalkeeper was actually in the centre of his goal, I could fully understand where the cancelling of the goal comes from. I could fully understand that. But he's nowhere near it. And he's not going to be nowhere near it, whether he tries to make a dive or not. I just don't understand where the logic is on this particular one. And like I say, the VAR and the officialing in this tournament have actually been really, really good. We've actually enjoyed a tournament where it's been all about the football. It's been all about the talent. It's been all about the skill, the flair, the quality on show. It's been all about that. And we haven't mentioned VAR once. Like I say, there may have been the odd whisper here and there. Like I say, I've already mentioned two moments. The Romelu Lukaku goal that was ruled out, and the penalty earlier on today for Austria against Poland. But you can at least justify them. This one is less justifiable in my opinion, and still took forever. Still took forever to be determined. And like I say, the ironic thing is that it was done by English officials. That's just the beauty of the irony here, in terms of everybody else has got their referees. Maybe not perfect. It may not have been the most perfectly ref tournament, because you're not going to get perfection. There may have been some fouls that were given, that were not given, and then some weak fouls that were given, and vice versa. And you're going to get that, obviously. We're not going to nitpick certain things here. But it's just beautiful how English referees stick to what they know about how they are drilled in the Premier League to go about the decision making, by taking as much time as possible to steal the show. What were they thinking? Were they thinking, oh, this is a bit of a dull 0-0. Time to steal the show. Steal it out well. Get the VAR out. I don't get it personally, and like I say, I think it's personally wrong to have disallowed the goal. I think, to say it denied as a moment, yes, but I hate using that, because that feels like we should just bend the rules to obviously accommodate for to accommodate for a moment to actually happen. But at the same time, like I said, I don't see the France goalkeeper making that save from where his position was, his body position, and where he was in relation to where the ball was placed. I don't see him making a leap from one end of the goal to the other and denying it at the speed of that shot. To me, I could be proven wrong. Maybe, someone will kind of correct me on this, I don't know, but for me, this was not it. This was not it, and I think English referees again have been put under the spotlight. VAR has once again been put under the spotlight in what has been, like I say, a tournament that has been very, very good for officiating and very good for VAR calls and usage. And then typically English referees come along and mess it all up. So make of it what you will. I just thought that this deserved kind of its own video. I kind of wanted to talk about VAR and how the tournament is going in regards to that at some point. So I thought, why not now? So yeah, there you have it. These are just my thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on the game tonight, on the officiating, on the huge controversy surrounding the VAR decision. But I want to know what you guys think and feel. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on these topics down below. I'm sure anything and everything that you have to say will make for great and interesting reading. I'm sure. Use and abuse that comment section, people. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up. Enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new. Want to see more content like this. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the football and everything, and I'll see you again very, very soon.